because your hair looks great. So,
Woo!
all right. So here we are. Welcome back to L Town Productions Presents with All Things Music with Jeff and Dave. How's that sound? Huh?
All things music.
Yeah, All Things Music with Jeff and Dave. So your hair looks great, by the way. Just want to put that out there.
Thanks, bro.
Um, yeah. So I have a good starting off point for us.
Okay,
I got my Cavassier right here. No, it's just coffee. Just kidding.
cool.
So Jeff, okay, you've got a couple things coming off, dropping
Mm,
here super soon. So just
yeah.
talk about what you got going. So let's start with you.
Okay. I don't want to talk about music.
Right?
Let's talk about something else. No, yeah, I'm doing there's a Spring Tank EP slash album. It's like a long EP or a short album coming
Okay.
out Friday I can't believe I have to check my calendar. Friday the 14th. It's
Okay.
got
Friday the 14th. Yeah.
yes. Currently there's a radio edit of one of the songs. Excuse me. There's a radio edit of one of the songs because I say a naughty word in it. So,
Yeah.
but to keep the flow of the album, that version's not in the album. So it's just kind of like a special single drop. So just like, hey, you can hear this now. Rest of the album comes out in a week. Um,
Okay.
I sent that to a DJ, KWSS here in Phoenix. Really cool station. They're like KRCL, um, for Phoenix. So independent radio, they're funded by donations and stuff like that.
Okay.
I sent her all the files for the stuff. She didn't play that song. She chose a different song and stuff. So it's being played on the radio and it's not out yet to everybody else.
Right.
So, but that's cool though, because I hope it generates interest.
Absolutely. It's cool.
It'd
It's
be
always cool
neat.
to get a little radio friendly for sure.
Yeah, and
And
I
you've been
never,
radio friendly in the past. You've had some
um,
Spring Tank stuff on the radio a few times, several
oh,
times, I would
oh
have to say.
yeah, a bunch of times. Like I don't know how many now. Um, like I've missed some because I've like messed up the times or stuff like that. I messed up on the time or whatever. Like it, like I read 1 o'clock when it was actually 11 o'clock, so I totally blew it off and missed it altogether.
Oh, really?
But but yeah, dude, radio stuff.
While
With
you're talking, I'm gonna
yeah,
look up something because I want to tell you. So keep going. Radio
sure,
stuff,
dude.
and then the 14th, and
Yeah, the 14th is the EP drop or album drop. It's called Watching It All Burn.
okay, watching it all burn.
Um,
Okay, did was that
and
the
that
original title, or was that's obviously what you
I
decided?
didn't I didn't have a title, but I would listen to you know how when you're making an album, you just listen to it over and over and over again. I noticed that there was a theme in I don't know if it's every song, but it was at least all of them but one. But it mentioned fire or burning or something like that
Okay,
in some sense, and it was not intentional. It just happened. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this is easy. I don't have to name the album now. So,
that's
it
cool.
kind of named itself. So, pretty cool,
I
man.
found what I
Pretty
wanted to
stoked.
throw in there. I don't know if you saw Corey's post, but um,
Okay.
this was supposed to be a the Bind song, which is Corey and Nick. It actually they
Oh,
ended up
cool.
playing a Freak Breed song. So Freak Breed was on the radio, the local radio show
Oh,
Rock
right.
Salt. Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there yesterday. I got
Very
no
cool, dude.
I got no notice, so I couldn't listen or nothing. I was at work, but I just
Okay.
wanted to. So yeah, it
That's
was interesting.
sweet.
So yeah,
Congrats, man.
did you see that post of
Awesome.
Corey's?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Anyway,
That's very cool, man. How does it feel?
same as it did before.
All
Um,
right, fair enough. Fair enough.
apparently, the host said that it's a woman. She was impressed by the song, but the intro was too long. So I said, bringing back
Yeah.
extended intros because I really don't care. Right?
Yeah, it's one thing that I learned submitting music to the is this contest that gosh dang it, it it's called Pladio. I can't remember the call sign for them, but for the past about
Something like
four
that, I believe.
years, huh?
The call sign is something like that, I believe.
Sure, something like
Anyway,
this.
yeah.
Um, but for the past 4 years, I've been submitting stuff, and basically they give critiques on the air of what they
Okay.
want to do. And their main thing, like one of the guys worked for, I don't know if it was A&R for a record company at some point, but he said they listen to like the first 4 seconds of a song, and if it doesn't
Hmm.
grab them within the
Yeah,
first 4 seconds, they're like, okay, we're done here.
I know.
And
Yeah.
they keep saying, "Don't bore us, get to the chorus."
Right.
So one thing I learned is jump right in with what you want to do. If
Honestly,
you
I
want a
can't
radio
say
friendly,
that
but
I care about that particular
exactly that's the
format, but
exactly that's the other part. Because
yeah,
this is just for a radio
unfortunately.
part.
Right.
It's like the difference between being a studio musician and a live musician. It's two
Right.
completely separate, well, not completely, but it's two separate jobs. One
Correct.
is using your mind and, creativity and blah, blah, blah. And the other one is hauling gear and, muscle memory and stuff like that. So it's
Hmm.
like two different writing styles as well. One's a writing style for radio, and one's a writing style for this is the entire message that I want to give. So yeah, I
I
am,
feel like live, it's more
yeah,
acceptable to have jam sections, extended intros and outros, things of that nature. But let me ask you
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Do you think? I think there's Ariel's Bone stuff that's pretty radio friendly. Have you thought about putting some Ariel's Bones on the radio with your connections?
Um, I don't really have a I wouldn't really call it a connection because I don't have any say in what happens on that side.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think it quite fits the format.
Their format? Okay,
Yeah, they're more of an indie format.
sure.
So if we came in with, y- like some of the stuff that is on Ariel's Bones, it would
Yeah, but can I mention something
kind of wouldn't quite
about
fit. But
the Ariel's Bones album that I think is a little different than the rest of the album that you may be able to sneak it into the format would be Crush or We'll See.
that might, I think
One of those two
Crush
songs
would
are quite
probably
indie sounding to me.
work. Crush may fit. Um,
You can sneak it in there.
I don't think we'll see. I think we'll see it'd be a little too heavy.
Okay.
Not heavy as in heavy guitar stuff, but heavy as in it's not as passive as normal radio listening music is intended to be. It's
Hmm.
not radio isn't meant to be, oh, I'm gonna sit back and learn things and just radio's
Right.
meant to play in the background and all that stuff. Every once in a while something will jump out and grab you, but
Right.
but
And as we mentioned, the songs are typically 3 to 3.5 minutes, and the chorus is going to be right there within
yeah, Crush
30
Crush
seconds of the
may
song or
work.
less.
Crush may work.
Just throwing it out there. I
But
mean, yeah, I don't
yeah.
see why not, you know,
Hmm,
Crush.
hmm.
But all right, so I've been talking about myself all week, so I'm exhausted with that,
Well,
honestly. It's
des
been a hell of a
it's
week, but
deserved though. It's deserved though. What
maybe
happened? Tell
thank
us what
you.
happened,
No,
man.
thank you. It was fun. Well, before let me ask you one other thing. There's some other stuff you've got coming. So tell
Okay.
us about the singles,
Okay. Yeah,
the other
we'll do that.
projects. And I want to talk a little
Um,
bit about that.
Katzen is I've already put the song out there with a little visualizer music video thing on YouTube. It's got like maybe 65 or 70 views, so it's not bad for a couple weeks or so. Um, That song's called MEOW, Meow.
Mm.
That's coming out the week after, so not the 14th, but I think it's the 21st. Yep.
I
And
did enjoy that song, and it did make me smile. So mission
it's
accomplished. Yeah.
it's fun. And you and another friend, like I've got a friend in Arizona here in Phoenix. He he makes hip hop beats and he actually sells those to people. That they can rap over them or do whatever they want with them. But he's like, dude, drums are on point. Give me those stems. So I copied that same project over so I would have the same drums to kind of base the new Trigger Thieves song off of. I recorded that 2 or
Okay.
3 days ago. That one's called Weather Girl. That's pop punk. If
I
you'll,
think you sent the demo my way, and I checked it out. I believe was that it
yeah,
was that one, correct? Yeah.
yeah, that's the one with the that sounds like Blink 182 if they had a one too many Slurpees, you know.
I thought it was really
It's
creative and
it's quite
super
sugary.
cool. Yeah, quite.
I it's like probably my favorite Trigger Thieves one that I've done.
Yeah,
It
it's
it's
cool.
on
I
point.
think
So
that'll be a fun one to throw out there.
yeah, that
Um,
one's coming out that same day on the 21st as well.
just a quick thought when you said about the beats. The
Yeah.
guy that um, I wrote a beat slash song for Chris Cogsdeal. I just wanted to throw that out
Okay.
there. He's
Okay.
doing some pre-production on it, and he's going to come over and he's going to rap on it. And I showed you the stem. It was
Interesting.
that sample that I took
Oh
from
yeah, yeah. Not delay.
Soul to
What was it?
Soul,
Soul to
Back to
Soul. Yeah.
Life. So I
Yeah.
sampled that beat and I just did a little layering and this and that. And I know that it's going to be a fun song to rap on for him. And he's like, dude, I love the old school throwback vibe. I'm totally in. So that might be something cool I can throw around and show people eventually. Is Chris is a very good rapper, very good rap stylings.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's going to be fun. And that was what it was
Okay.
designed. And I actually have another one in the hopper that I haven't told him about. Um, anyway, I don't know if I should say anything yet, but I got another one in the hopper for him too. A couple rap songs.
Cool.
I enjoy doing that kind of stuff once in a while, like whatever old school throwback type rap stuff.
Okay. That's
It's been
cool.
that's what Otten was, and I haven't that project kind of got shelved, but I haven't done any rap stuff for a while. But there's more of that I just want to toy with.
Sweet. I don't think I've actually met Chris. I've heard his name on several occasions, like
He's your age.
through you guys, a, through a long time ago as well. I know Troy Stark had mentioned Chris a
Yep.
couple times, in a musical sense
Mm-hmm.
at some point or hanging out with him and
Check.
stuff like that. So I've heard the name several times, but I
Yep.
don't think I've met him.
Very talented.
But
He has like a hip hop flavor in his soul. So even though he does like punk stuff, punk rock stuff, he has
mhm.
like a hip hop flavor, an urban flavor rather in his soul that kind of seeps out often. I worked with him in
That's
Oblivious
cool.
Sun with Brad for several years back in the day.
Cool.
Anyway,
Okay.
another thought I had was, we have conversations on our phone once in a while, and it strikes these ideas in my head, things that I kind of want to pick your brain on that I think are interesting, which was kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast again. And it's kind of like diving
Cool.
in to some of these ideas and philosophies about the different sounds that you're juggling when you're going from project to project. Remember that conversation? I thought it
Yes.
was
Yeah,
fascinating. Can you
clearly.
talk a
Yeah.
little bit about that? Tell me how
Sure,
you
man.
switch your cap between projects?
Sure. Um, yeah, our conversation, it was something about like you started by saying something about how my vocals will fit kind of globally with all the projects that I do.
Right.
And then from there, I kind of said, well, each project kind of has its own spirit per se. Like Spring Tank stuff is usually the kind of shoegazy, uh, kind of not quite goth, but kind of a darker side to it. A lot of texture to it. Um, Cult Machine was no guitars in it. It was all synth, hardware and a little bit of software synth. And that stuff was more toward like social issues, the theme of it. Oh yeah, Spring Tank is usually more like sad boy stuff, but I don't know, you can kind of make up your own storyline to it or whatever. Trigger Thieves is more of like the punk or garage type stuff, the more up-tempo stuff. That's usually where I put the, I don't want to say comedy, but satire. That's usually where I put the satire.
Right.
Um, because like this Weather Girl song, you can take it as um okay, long story short, it's about some dude who's obsessed with he turns on his TV and then, his bright spot of the day is seeing the lady who delivers the weather. So he kind of gets this obsession with her and you know, d- it, he fails to acknowledge the fact that she's human. So when they meet in person, in the song, he doesn't realize that she farts, and that's her fault. She farts and farts some more,
That's her
and then
fault.
she keeps farting some more, and the the guy in the song is like, ooh, I don't know if I can do this. So yes, it's funny, but it's also satire because it is a problem that guys tend to have. They kind of don't think of the, like when you see like a really hot actress on TV or something like that, you don't think that, hey, she's human. She's got faults, she's got weaknesses, she's got strengths, but we fail to see all the weaknesses,
Right.
and we just kind of leave that out.
We
And
dehumanize them a little in a sense.
precisely, yeah, they're
Yeah.
they're dehumanized, and that's what this song is about. So it's
Now,
it's yes,
when
it's funny, but it's
you,
that point as well. So
I think I want to know really in depth about how what your mindset is on the writing process for the different projects, or is it just like
okay.
automatic and you don't have to think too much about it? Like when
Um,
you're going between, say, uh, a Triggered Thieves song and let's go to the extreme, like Shiza Katzen song, which
okay.
that
Well, I
single.
I don't usually start a song with a project in mind. I just start it with the song in mind. Um, of course.
Okay.
So
And then
like
you figure out what it fits into, or
yeah,
okay.
yeah, then I figure out what it fits into.
See, that's
Except
really interesting because I wondered if you like consciously wrote for specific projects at specific times because that's kind of
mm,
how my mind works.
some the only ones that I kind of have to do that with is Scheisse because the lyrics and everything are, faux German Till Lindemann type lyrics and they're about cats. So that of course naturally cannot fall into like Spring Tank.
Right.
So but also in that same approach, the Cold Circuit stuff, it's largely instrumental and there's no real structure kind of built around it. It's all kind of improv. So there's no, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus type of structure. It's
Right.
just go and then you're tweaking filter knobs, you
That's
know,
very freeing, I would
messing
imagine.
with everything you hear on that is live. Like I don't
Yeah.
chop or loop on that. Everything you hear is a live sequence, and then if something like I like to drop the kick drum out for a second. For
Hmm.
instance, I'm muting the kick drum on the drum machine. I'm not doing anything in my DAW to edit that. It's all a live linear recording. So, I mean, that being said, when I'm doing a cold circuit song, that's kind of cold circuit from go. That's not I wonder what project this will fit under because that's its own
Mhm.
thing as well. And there's no guitars or bass on cold circuit either. That's just like 99% hardware synths and drum machines going through a stack of guitar pedals and just to kind of fill it out and make it atmospheric, creepy, drug haze, whatever you want to interpret it as. So,
Yeah, I noticed that um, I became more of aware of this since I've been writing that
Mhm.
stuff, that has no name yet.
Yeah,
That
I
your
like that stuff.
voice uh,
It's
adapts easily to the different styles of music, and because I was like, I'm
yeah, that's how
I'm
you
worried
started
about
the.
singing this rock stuff that I've been writing for myself that I am planning on doing vocals on. It's
Mm.
it's scary for me and I'm insecure about it. You know what I'm saying? Talk a little bit about that. How do you keep that confidence on your vocal moving from project to project?
Um, I'm reminded of a conversation I had back when I had this girlfriend, and she mentioned something about how people would perceive the music. I know it's kind of hard to understand, but it was something to do with the vocals, and then my response was, well, nobody else in the world knows how the vocals go.
Right.
Not even me at this point until they're recorded. So um, there's no nervousness about it because you can't really compare it to something because these vocals don't exist, and you are not Deftones, you are not Metallica, thank God.
You have to
Um,
find your own
yeah,
voice, your own approach.
it's your thing. I mean, you could sing some falsetto opera thing, and it would still be awesome because nobody can tell you that you're doing it wrong. Nobody can say, "Oh, that's wrong," because it's yours. It's not theirs. I mean, they can listen to it and not like it. Great, that's their prerogative. But as far as confidence is concerned, um, all that you really need to do is the only person that you need these vocal tracks to be acceptable to is yourself. Like if you
Right.
record and you're like, I didn't like my pitch on this,
Hmm.
or
Which happened to me
I didn't.
recently, as you know.
Yeah, yeah, right, right. Or I didn't like my tempo cadence on this part. So you're just like, okay, Control Z, let's try it again. And um,
How
and
do you
once you
find
nail
that
it,
standard?
you're good.
How do you find that standard of work? Like what's acceptable and what's not? What in your mind? I thought about
Um,
this before actually, and I wanted to make sure I asked you.
some sometimes that standard is simply repetition. It's um I remember one time I was singing just a small part in a song over and over and over again, and the song really meant a lot to me. I was nailing the pitches and tempo and everything over and over and over, and then I was like, well, why aren't I keeping these? And at one point, I just accepted the fact it's not out of my system yet. If I have to sing it over and over and over, as powerful as I can, even if the previous takes were more powerful, if I sound like exasperated on this last take, that's where it's meant to be. There are a couple songs in the last Spring Tank album, not the EP that you produced, but the one before that. There was a song that I was singing on, and I'm like, okay, I got to power through this, and I kept like choking up because I was like kind of crying, because it was just this huge wave of emotion hitting me, and I'm like, you know what? I can either do this perfect or I can do it authentic. There's a
Okay.
big
Yeah.
difference.
It's a good
And
point.
then so the last take I did, I was like bawling in it, and I kept it. because I could either do it like that or I could do it perfect. Ooh, you know. Um, and I like things that aren't perfect because I can't relate to perfect. And I think that's kind of what it boils down to is just that's my standard. Just whatever's authentic. Whatever
Okay.
whatever gets the job
Sure.
done in your heart and mind, you
Yeah.
know. It and if it sounds funky, like Johnny Cash couldn't really hold a note, that's his signature is that kind of wavering thing in his voice, and you're like,
Yeah.
man, that's so good. Because if he sang perfect and on point, it would just be like another dude.
Yeah,
So I think
we
that's my
talk about
standard.
this in the academy quite a bit, which
So,
is with the advent of like tune and stuff, metatune and these vocal tuning tools. There's no more
hmm
blue notes and there's no more like
right.
bending up to a note. And so what happened to me was it indulged me for a moment when I had that
Mhm.
conversation. I was writing the song and tracking what in my mind was going to be scratch tracks, and I was sort of assembling and arranging the song. And I'm doing this dark wave industrial stuff that I'm writing, which my voice actually does complement that form of music because I kind of sound
hmm
like I have this like weird David Gaughan thing. I don't know if it's what I grew up on Depeche Mode, but
hmm
it's in my range, and I'm a baritone naturally.
He
Okay.
he
I
taught you
got
the
pushed into
baseline of
tenor, but
where
I
to.
have a baritone
Yep.
voice. And so you got to work with your strengths, right? But because I hadn't sang leads consistently for such a long time, is I kept noticing that I was getting stronger and stronger. And then I also was getting more and more picky with my pitch. So I kept going back to it, trying to fix all these blue notes that I thought, oh, I can do better. I can do better. I can do better. So I went back a couple times and kept fixing parts because I didn't know what the standard was because I haven't been doing it that long like you have. You kind of like you said, you sort of know what your standard is and you're shooting for something. Well, I didn't know what I was really shooting for because it's like
hmm
new to me, right? So I had to
Yeah.
find a standard. And then I decided, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. Now, I'm not going for perfection either by any means, but I don't want there to
hmm
be like blue notes in there that are going to take you out of the song. So
I understand.
as I was
Yeah.
getting stronger, I was also getting better in my ear. My ear for pitch was getting better as well. So I
I've
thought,
noticed
okay,
that.
well, let's see
Yeah.
how far we can take this. Let's see how far I can go with it. Let's just see how good I can get it as far as pitch wise.
hmm
Right.
Yeah. One thing, just to kind of piggyback off of this, I don't know if you've heard of that artist Youngblood.
Yeah,
Like
I have.
he's just starting to get big in America. A couple years ago, like I kind of stumbled across some of his stuff when he was a little younger and not really well known.
There's a
I
couple podcasts out there that I'm checking out. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
Youngblood.
he's
Yeah.
some of his songs he remade them for his new album that came out, and I didn't like them. Like I didn't it was the same song but he remade them, and then I thought for a while, why don't I why doesn't this newer updated version resonate? And it just came to me today that well, now he knows exactly what he's doing. So I'm not saying that's bad, but when he first recorded these things, he was singing from a position of confusion, and there's a great deal of fragility in there that he was coming from. So you
Mhm.
can hear that pain, you can hear the experience behind it, you can hear the desperation.
Yeah.
Um, but with the remakes, he's already been through it. So he's
Uh,
already confident and everything like that. So with the remakes, he lost the desperation. He lost the the uh the direness of the message. I mean, this is just my opinion, but
Makes sense though what you're saying.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a lion, all lions can roar,
Mhm.
but if a kitten roars, that's something special. And I think that's kind of what coming back to that standard that we were talking about, if you approach it from a fragile point of view, or from a an authentic position,
A vulnerable, perhaps,
yeah,
approach.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, from a vulnerable approach, just to leave yourself open to all the slings and arrows that may come your way. Like if an ex comes in and says, "Yeah, I heard your song, dude," or whatever, and you're like, "You know what? Yeah, thank you for the inspiration for that song. A lot of people have heard that song. It's been on the radio."
yeah,
But
yeah.
but
It makes
that's
me.
kind of
Let
the
me
point.
interject this one thing. Okay, so you've got
Yeah.
you write a song. Okay, and in my mind, that song has at least three main soul parts to it. It's got the song, it's got the presentation, right? AKA
Okay.
the production and the
Like,
mixing,
okay.
the presentation. So you write a song, but you need to present it in a certain way. And sometimes they're wrapped together like an aesthetic. Sometimes they're wrapped together, or sometimes the aesthetic is decided later. But either way, you got the song, the presentation, and then you have the emotional content, or what you're saying, like the vulnerability to it, maybe the soul of it, maybe, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Where do you
That's
balance that? Like where talk about that a little bit, because I hear your emotional
um
content all the time. I mean, it seeps. That's part of the point, right?
yeah, it's the point. Um I've come to the acceptance that nobody cares about the emotional content really, unless they can relate to it on their own terms. Completely fine with that. Um,
That's valid.
so
No, that's yeah, that's totally valid.
yeah, so as you mentioned in your podcast with Zach, if you're
Mhm.
writing for, if you're writing for somebody else, that, I'll kind of paraphrase, that's prostitution. But if you're writing for yourself, that's art.
Right.
That's therapy and stuff. So keeping it on the level, keeping it in your ballpark.
Yeah. No, thank you
That's
for
it.
indulging me. I wanted
I
your thought,
mean,
because let's take a song like
yeah,
Wine and Roses, Ariel's Bones. Part of what
yeah.
makes that song great to me is the emotional content. So
It's a
I'm
heavy.
invested when I
It's
hear the song. I'm
heavy.
investing in
Yeah,
that, and it takes me
yeah,
for a little ride. And
yeah.
the melody with the emotional content kind of fused together is what gives you that the goosebump on that. You know?
Thanks. I like that. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you
Well, I
get
mean,
that.
it was
It's
more
cool.
like an example of what we're talking about. Like that's exactly kind of the reaction you want, right?
Um, it's not a reaction I'm shooting for, but um, I would say writing music is a journaling of oneself. So, but if somebody else gets it, awesome.
Win. Right. That's a
I'm
win.
happy that you got that mess. I mean, even if you interpret it as something completely different from your own life, as long as you can relate to it
Oh, for
on
sure.
in that way, that's completely cool as well. Like I tend to over explain stuff a lot of time, and it probably ruins stuff. Um,
To each their own, but that's why I like don't
yeah,
explain my lyrics, because I want that listener to be able to have their own
yeah,
perception of what it's about.
exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's my weak spot. Like
That's
I'll
them
I'll
investing in the
I'll
song.
try to explain it too far,
Right. But
and
sometimes you've got a
uh,
song where it's pretty obvious, and so it's okay to talk about it. Like Weather
right.
Girl, you
Yeah,
know,
right.
is a good example.
That's
That's not going to
very,
be
very
any mystery what
straightforward.
that's about.
And yeah, there's no real metaphorical meaning to the word bard
And that's kind of
or
what I wanted to talk
whatever.
to you about
But
this, because you have all these different ways of writing that are completely different. Like Shiza Katzen, that's kind of another example of exactly kind of what's going on there. It's meant to be
yeah,
fun
yeah,
and
yeah.
bubbly.
It's meant to be goofy but over the top um, stuff. So if somebody hears about it, they'll just go, "Oh, this is gonna be terrible." But then when they hear it and they kind of do this thing when the guitars kick in, and um, that's the fun part.
Maybe you're channeling
You
that
know,
to recharge your battery for when you go back to an emotional thing like an Ariel's Bones song or a Spring Tank song or maybe Cult Machine song where you're putting more of an investment of your own emotion into the song. Like maybe that's how you recharge your
hmm
battery.
Yep. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, I have talked to Zach about this for a while, and then when I say I need to back off and chill from music for a while, but the way that I chill is by doing more music, and
There you
a
go.
whole other
Yeah.
project comes out or
Something
whatever.
maybe not so
So
serious. Yeah.
it's yeah, yeah. So it's not necessarily stopping music, but it's going from one project and then saying, that's good. I'm going over here for a while. Um, so it creates a good balance. It keeps me in check because it doesn't keep me in one mood all the time because that can be dangerous. You can get sucked into stuff too easily or whatever,
Hmm. Yeah.
or um you can get too like upset if someone's not paying attention to it because you're like, no, I spent all this time and emotion and stuff into this project and nobody's listening to it. That's the curse of all musicians, but like all of them, except for, I don't know, probably Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So I just had this conversation with Nick today. Okay. And you just made me think of this, and I want to quantify this for people. Um, you don't want to take yourself too seriously either, I think is kind of one of the
Precisely.
points. Now, Nick and I were
Yep.
talking, and I got this from a podcast from the Academy about Dave Pensato. He said, if your ego is above your abilities and talents,
Oh
you're
yeah,
not going to grow. Okay.
that's
So you've
perfect.
got to be
Yeah,
able to manage your ego in such a way that will allow you to keep growing. And that means being vulnerable, you know.
exactly. I love that.
And
Yeah.
yeah, talk about your what's your take on that?
Um, I'm completely on board with that. Um, because if you write what you know constantly, it, oh, great, it's gonna rhyme. If you write what you know, you're not gonna grow. And you're just beating a dead horse over and over.
It did rhyme. Anyway,
Yeah, I
you
know.
called it.
But so that's another awesome thing that I like about having so many different genres across different projects is because if I'm writing this hardcore, Marshall Stack, Shiza Katzen thing and stuff, that stuff is actually pretty easy to do. Like from start to finish, um, I can do one of those songs, including vocals and writing the lyrics and everything, in probably like 5 hours,
Yeah.
like from start to finish, and then we're done. And that's just recording everything. Um,
You probably noticed
so
that I've been
it's
doing more of the soft synth stuff.
yeah, yeah, and
So
I
I'm
really
relating
like
to
it.
you by I was doing
Yeah.
a lot of hard rock stuff for a long time, and I think I
Mm,
needed something else to shift my mindset and recharge the hard rock battery. And so I started writing those dark wave industrial songs. And it's always been a thing for me because
yeah,
Nick does that a lot too, actually, like with remixes and things. But
it's healthy,
yeah, I've been
you know.
writing those dark wave things, and I feel really recharged with it, and I'm hoping to get that experience and the vocal strength to then shift back to do those hard rock songs I need to do.
It's healthy because it doesn't keep your mind on one. It it doesn't keep you. It doesn't maintain tunnel vision for you. You're not constantly looking at in one direction. You're looking at other directions as well, and those other directions end up kind of going toward. They end up supplementing like if you do something on your synth side, that will end up supplementing the hard rock side at some point. Because you'll go, oh,
I've
hey, I've
always
learned how
loved
to,
a
yeah,
versatility, a diversity. I
yeah,
had a bandmate at one point in my life that didn't understand that aspect of me and thought that I
hmm
was ridiculous to want to write a dark wave song, you know? I think that's very
mm,
stifling. I don't like to feel stifled.
yeah. I think at all points when I've been in a band, I've always had a side project as well
Yeah,
because eh, you, you just have to. Um, because if you're in a house where everybody's creativity is contained within that house, and you can't go outside the roof, you know. That's what a band is. A band is a collective way of thinking and working together. But with a side project or whatever, there is no roof. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, you can write a different style of music. You can pick up an acoustic.
precisely. Yeah,
You can write something with just piano,
yeah, you nailed it.
or you can do some stupid thing singing about cats in like crappy knockoff German stuff. You know,
And that same conversation that I was
so
having with Nick is that when you do something on your own, you don't have to be a maestro. So, like when I'm working with a
exactly.
band, some of the stuff requires some of the chops that I have to dig out once in a while.
Oh
But when
yeah.
I'm writing something on myself, I can purposefully be stark. And with my guitar parts, I
Mhm.
can be stark. I don't have to being a maestro doesn't necessarily create a great song. What creates a great song in my
Yep.
mind is
Yep.
it's got to have vibe, je ne sais quoi, good presentation. It's got to have soul. Okay, like we talked
Mhm.
about.
Yep. I like it. I like what you're saying.
Yeah.
I am
So
totally
I
with
mean,
you
that's
on
the
that.
rock stuff I'm writing. You can hear
Yeah.
it in the songwriting. The
Mhm.
parts are not technical by any means, but I don't think they
Not
have to be, and
really.
I don't think it calls for that. Some of the drumming might
Right.
be slightly like an onion. You know, it's got some complexity to it, but for the most part, it's pretty simple stuff. You
hmm
know,
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
yeah.
One of your new songs that you did, there's a not space station. The one that you sent a couple times with the lyrics, and it sounds like there's this piano line thing going do 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 do, and and it's such a simple but very very effective thing, and that's my favorite part of
Are
that
you talking
song.
about Space Force, the one that
Space
I did
Force,
vocals on
yeah, Space
recently?
Force, yeah,
And you asked what that was, and it's actually a
yeah,
keyboard part ran through a guitar IR, basically, like a
okay.
clean guitar IR is basically what that. But
It's
anyway, yeah,
but it's brilliant. I mean it's what, three notes maybe
yeah,
with a little bit of echo on it,
yeah,
but it's my favorite part of the song, and I think it makes that whole song.
yeah. Maybe
And
thanks. Yeah, it's kind of like an arpeggio on a
oh
guitar is the way I when I wrote it.
yeah,
I was
yeah, the
thinking
do
of
do 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 do
yeah,
do.
just an arpeggio
Yep.
on a guitar, and that's kind of what that was. Yeah.
hmm
I have some
So good
fun
job.
news. I want to tell you something fun. All right.
Okay.
The other day, like 3 days ago, uh, I messaged Lisa Minor, Mrs. Minor, which I do sometimes out of the
Oh
blue.
yeah,
And
cool.
I said, Jeff Huso and I had a conversation about you, and we both reminisced about memories of Lisa Minor. Now we weren't in the same class, but
No,
you were maybe 2 years ahead of me, but
like
anyway, it was fun
one
to
or yeah.
and so I said, yeah, me and Jeff talked about, you had some funny stories to share. And then I sent her a song to listen to. I sent her Element 115 and I
Okay.
said, here are your harmony training in practical use. And she
Oh
listened
wow,
to it and she's like, wow, that was a fun listen. Thank you. So she enjoyed it.
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
so cool.
yeah, it was
Is she
cool.
still she's not still teaching, is she?
I think
Because
she's
this was like
retired,
30
dude.
years ago. Yeah,
Because her husband was,
40
yeah.
years.
I don't think she's still teaching. At least it doesn't say so on her Facebook. But
Okay. That's so cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was a trooper. She was a champ. She had a
If you
hard time
message
at
her, she'll
first,
answer you
but
back. So
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I might have to message her and say, "Hey, sorry that we were such dicks in class." And
yeah,
because I think we were her very first class because
really,
yeah, I can't remember the teacher before, but she would intern. She was interning a little bit with oh man, I can't remember her name, but she was interning for a little bit, and then just kind of handed it off to her. And then when it was all under Mrs. Miner's control, it was a room of maybe 80 something
yeah. Art classes were really
13
big
year
too.
olds, 14
It
year
would have
old
been hard.
boys,
Yeah.
and hormonal and
Uh-huh. And our seventh grade year, she was even pregnant, and so it was even harder for her. But I had her all three
yeah,
years. I took choir all 6 years. But anyway,
yeah.
the harmonies that I've been experimenting with, I gotta say, was quite inspired by you. Uh,
Thank you.
a lot of your harmony
Cool.
work in Ariel's Bones in particular, and you also do it in Spring Tank stuff here and there for sure.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I was just trying to find practical ways of getting to experiment with harmonies, having
Cool,
fun with it.
man.
So baritone and a tenor part,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
limited, but you got
No,
to try.
that's perfect. Too
You got to
much
try
is too
stuff, and you got to
much.
be vulnerable, and you got to suck for a minute until you get it figured out.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, going back to what I said, nobody knows that you're sucking
Right.
because nobody knows how the song's supposed to go.
Mhm.
Just you do. So if you suck for yourself, can we edit that part out?
Yeah. No.
I'm just
I
kidding.
don't. Yeah.
But
I
if
mean,
no, don't. Yeah, I'm
I
just
get what
kidding.
you're saying.
But yeah, if you don't feel like you did an adequate job, then that's when you know you didn't do an adequate job. But
Right.
nobody else is going to know that.
Sometimes I have to live with it, and before I really make a
Oh
decision on
yeah,
where the limit is, I have to sort of live with it and study it, and then I'll go back and I'll try harmony
yeah,
or I'll try and
that's
fix a blue note. And
that's just part of the process. Or
yeah,
sometimes
part of the
we'll
process. That's part of
find
my process for sure, and see how far I can take it. You know.
and a lot of times we'll find like in old songs where we accidentally overlooked something. Um, like I would really like to go back and redo some of my old songs, but kind of going back to that young blood comment, I
Yeah.
know a lot more now. I've already mentally processed
Yeah.
the inspiration behind this song, So if I sang it
Yeah.
again, it would be from a standpoint of I'm already done with this problem. I've already
Exactly.
got it figured out. I already know what to do if this arises again. I'm not in the middle of it. So it wouldn't have that same punch as like a as like if I was singing one of the songs that I wrote like when I was going through a divorce or whatever. If I sang it
Yeah.
now, I'm not going
Right.
through a divorce right now.
Right.
So it's not going to have that same effect.
It's that balance
So,
between being technically perfect or technically better versus having that emotional content, the je ne sais quoi that it had when you
which
first
means
sang it.
more. Yeah, it
Like
does
I'm
the
a
job
big
better.
Morrissey fan of in the Smiths, right?
Yeah.
And dude, the majority of his work, he's sharp. I don't know if you know this or if you've really paid attention. Morrissey is sharp on like The Queen
Yeah.
is Dead, like all these records. He's sharp, but you don't really care. And maybe it's only like 10 cents, but dude, he's sharp a lot, but it doesn't matter because he's delivering the emotional punch and
Yep.
working the song so well that it's like, well, that's just the song. Who cares?
Yeah, it's
You know
how
what
it
I'm
goes.
saying?
Dude, Ian Curtis from Joy
Yeah,
Division. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
His voice was not really good.
Right.
Just it just kind of wasn't. But it's the best voice for the messages and everything that he's delivering. Like if anybody else tried to sing it, it would not even be half as good.
Yeah.
So
I was
it's
telling
yeah.
Aaron and you, I don't have the best lead voice, but I think what I'm doing that's my strength is I'm executing it and the delivery and um, the melody maybe. But I don't have a lead voice, but I think what's good about it is I'm working off my strengths is it's the delivery maybe.
I think you're doing fine because I mean,
Do you know what I'm saying?
well, I know what you're trying to say, but I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit.
Well, and that's the whole thing
I
is
mean, that's all I can really
I'm just
say.
not there yet. I just don't have that confidence. I don't have I'm
Oh, okay.
insecure about like when I was talking to Nick about this, he's like, you're so how's it going on your stuff? And I kind of like skimmed over it. I go, I'm chipping away. It's very slow. It's going slow. Because when I get to that rock stuff, I just hope that I can get it. I hope I can get there because I'm insecure about it. And rightly so, you
Well,
know?
I think it goes back to the thing, just kind of the theme of our what we're talking about. Like
Exactly.
I don't see any problems with it, but if you do, you know better than I do. So if you are saying no, I'm not there yet, you're
Yeah,
not
I
there
don't
yet.
know if it's good,
Yeah.
you know. I just don't know, and I know how to execute what I do okay, but I'm still trying to gather that confidence like that you've gathered over the
Okay.
last 35 years or 40 years or whatever.
35-ish, we'll say.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, yeah, that's all good
So
stuff,
yeah.
man. I really wanted to intellectualize that and try and like quantify that so that some of your young artists might watch this and maybe relate and go throw caution in the wind, just go for it. Like I said on Zach's ZHZ podcast, it just starts with just doing it. It starts with going through the motions and getting the songs recorded and practicing, working that songwriting muscle, right?
Yeah, just I think just kind of visualizing everything how you want it to go is very important as well. Um and like I told you about how I wrote this last song, the Weather Girl song, how it was basically all in my head already. And that's just kind of how I do most of the stuff. Just that visualization. So when you step up to the mic, you actually already know you already know what you need to do. You already know what you need to sing, and you already know what notes to play on the guitar. Um, you know what you got a pretty good idea of what kind of finesse you need to throw into it to
Yeah,
um to accentuate certain parts of it. Um, I like doing that. I like trying to do some little tweaks to kind of accentuate other parts that aren't tweaked, just to kind
yeah,
of it's almost like using compression.
yeah,
But it's just one part of the song does this while the other just stays here, like the vocals will stay here, but everything else drops. So this kind of naturally gets the focus.
right.
Um,
I think I know. I think
but
what you're
getting
trying to say too is
yeah.
I didn't think this would be the case with me, but like I told you in a couple conversations, a few songs that I've written have come preloaded with like a verse melody. Okay, and I
Okay.
didn't think that'd be the
I don't,
case. And yeah,
oh, okay.
I was telling you about when I wrote that one you wanted to sing on. It came to me with a verse melody. Psychotropic.
Yeah.
Okay, so this I didn't think this would be the case with me, but it's happening more and more. And then what happens is it comes to you with that verse melody. You figure it out. You get the lyrics. You get the cadence. You work it in, and then that informs the chorus melody. So it comes down to
Yeah,
listening well
kinda.
too,
It can.
listening well to what you're doing and bounce and then letting that inform the next part and the next part and the presentation of how you want to mix it and present it.
It can.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So
It's
that's
it's
happening. I didn't think that'd be
yeah.
the case with me, but that has been happening, and I don't know. I don't really know where that comes from. Do you? Is it the vision that you're?
I can't tell you where it's coming from. It's your gig, man. But I like
Uh,
it.
I'm trying to relate to you. It's not my gig. It's your gig. That's what is happening to you. You're seeing it in your head as a
Okay.
vision, right?
What um yeah, kind of comparing it to the way that I see it as a vision. Um, uh, Good question. I would say that it has something to do with maybe trying to find some sort of a resolution to whatever emotion you're trying to portray in the song. So it kind of naturally runs through processes. Um, so instead of sitting down and writing it, say, like on a keyboard or a guitar or whatever, it's already in your synapse firing. You're like, I already know what happens next. This is how I
Right.
solve, this is how the momentum of my thought process goes. So this is how the momentum of my writing process goes.
Uh-huh.
Does that make sense?
And it's basically what I'm saying in another way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
informing, and
it
it's you just build
kinda,
on it.
yeah.
It keeps going. Nick writes these song ideas, and I wanted to ask you about this too. And when he writes a song, he's also envisioning immediately like the presentation of it, like, and the
Hmm.
mood and the aesthetic also informs like the lyrics and the melody. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Sometimes it's just the mood of a groove and a keyboard part, or a mood and a guitar part, and the mood of a drum and a piano. You know what I mean? And then that informs
Hmm.
the emotional aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
And you just
I
grab
mean,
it and go. You just grab onto it
it
and then see what happens.
pretty much. Yeah, you just kind of grab onto it, accept it as your process
Yeah.
of writing. One thing though is that can become a trap as well, because if you hang on to that at all times, you're not going to try other things necessarily. If you get too comfortable with that process,
Oh, agreed.
does
But
that make
again,
sense?
that you grab onto it and go, but then that informs the next part, the next part. So yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Actually, I've never
Yeah.
felt fallen into a trap. Well, I don't have enough experience, but I don't feel like I'm falling into traps of that nature. I just think that if you go with your instincts and let it inform your next idea, it can build. It'll build in a
Yeah,
good way.
it will build a good track.
Right.
But also, but on the same, on the flip side of that,
Uh-huh.
also don't be afraid to go against your instincts just to
Sure.
like
Sure.
if you envision yourself as a rubber band, that this is how you're writing songs, you get creative, you're like, "Ugh," and then you get comfortable with that, but you're only used to stretching this much. If you if you say, no, I'm doing something different, you're going to broaden your own writing style, and sometimes going against your
Your
instincts
instinct. Yeah. I actually,
is
that's a great
good,
point.
you
Yeah,
know?
that's a great point.
I mean, I'm not saying always do it because every song is going to sound like a Maynard song,
Right. No,
but
I think that's super valid what you're saying. I
but
actually think that's a great idea, and I think you should definitely consider that. Here's my instinct, but I'm going to do this instead. Again, but that
yeah.
instinct is informing your decision to do something different as well, right? So for the young songwriter, I think it's just a matter of jumping on that train and seeing what happens, right?
If you're a young songwriter, let us know that you're watching this video because sometimes these long conversations that me and Dave have or that me and Zach have, sometimes I don't think they're being listened to or going anywhere. So let me know.
I'm a young songwriter and I'm jumping on. Yeah, yeah. Yep. I want to have Aaron
Oh,
Vaughn on, and I want him to talk about his bass playing and his mind switch into being creative and being an artist when it comes to the bass. And then I want to have Chris Cogsdale on and catch up with him. I also talked to Scotty, and I want to have Scotty on and have him talk about his new project and stuff like that. But I want to do it where it's me and you and them, like me and you and one other person, like a three-way. And I noticed that it's No Shave November, and you're jumping on the
yeah,
No
I'm
Shave November train,
doing this
as am I. I just barely
doing that
started,
stuff and
but and I'm wearing my
yeah.
L Town Productions shirt, in
Cool, man.
honor of the album drop. So
Right
yeah,
on.
and I got stuff. I got guitar work to do this weekend, and I got lyrics, and I got vocal stuff to do next week. So yeah,
You're
I'm
gonna be
planning
busy.
out my next week to try to get in the studio and keep chipping away.
Don't burn yourself out.
Oh, I won't. I'm
So,
very good at pacing myself, I assure you. And that's why I go on my bike rides and I go outdoors
yeah,
and
yeah.
I study my mixes maybe sometimes, and I ideas come to me and I figure out a game plan so that when I do go to the studio, I'm being very productive.
Good. That
So
well, that's
I'm
kind
really
of
good
what
at
you
that.
do.
I'm good at managing time. I'm a Gemini. I can take on so much information constantly, but I do have to recharge the battery. So, but I know how to do it too because I'm pretty in tune with that.
That's good. And it does show in the music that you're doing. Like I've mentioned in our texts back and forth, um, the new projects are well, pretty much any project that I've heard you do, um, you do really good because a lot of people will just kind of futz around and they'll go like, "Oh, does this sound cool?" And it's just a loop of something and then they switch the instrument, but it's the same notes playing it and then they switch it and then they think that's a song. But you
Right,
don't do that.
right.
Um, you've got well, A, you've got the experience behind you
Mhm.
in building a song, like structure.
Right.
Um, B, Depeche Mode's taught you a lot. Like singing,
Yeah.
the importance of EQing synth bass,
Right.
that stands out like hardcore. So you know what you're doing and it sounds good. Like it doesn't sound like someone just stepping into it. So
Right.
I
Right.
I do want to say please keep going because I
Well, I
like it,
appreciate that,
you
and
know?
thank you. And I
I've
think I know you're talking about the arrangements that I'm doing, and that's because I've been in bands as long. I've been in active working bands for so long, and I am a bridge person. I write bridges. I like bridges. I like intros,
oh,
bridges, and
yeah.
outros, and I also like sub choruses. So I
Those are
am
fun.
mindful
Yeah.
about the arrangement, very mindful. So I try to mix it up too. I won't do a sub chorus all the time, and I
Mhm.
won't do a bridge all the time, but I like to mix it up. And I think, like you said, it is important to. It's really difficult for me to keep a song under 4.5 minutes, bro. To be honest,
Yeah, I've
but
noticed
I'm
that.
figuring stuff out. I'm
I've
I'm I'm just
I've noticed that.
experimenting,
You
but
go
I
kind of
appreciate
long with
that.
some
Yeah,
of
all
them,
my
yeah.
songs are on the longer side, 4 to 5 minutes at least. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So just yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. I mean, not to, make you get a really big head, but
No, no,
but
I
you got
appreciate
it.
it.
So
Yeah, I mean, me and Nick have been
you're
arranging
doing it.
for a long time, and it goes back to when we were playing in a band together and just improvising, just jamming, and we could read each other very well. Brad and I had that too, to an extent. But we've been writing songs for so long together that when we work remotely, it's the same thing. I send him a drum track. He just knows what I'm thinking. He knows what I meant in
Yeah,
that drum
I
arrangement, and
understand.
he just works with it, and vice versa when he sends me something. And so it's really
Hmm.
cool chemistry that we still have in songwriting. And I've just taken those same ideas and kind of applied them to my own stuff that I'm writing. The quasi solo project. I don't know what to even call it yet, but I'll figure it out. So
It's a thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah, no
fun.
rush, man.
It's fun, and I'm getting all those ideas out that I've had to keep pinned down for so long. With collaborations, you don't always get to get every one of your ideas out, right? So it's good to have that other avenue
Yeah.
to explore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I do. Heck, even in my own projects, I can't get the job done in some of them. That's why there's multiple. So I follow you.
And that's exactly why I picked your brain on that. I really wanted to know how you would intellectualize all those ideas and things. I am really genuinely curious because I feel, like you and Nick, just prolific songwriters, hyper creativity, always something brewing. You're getting it, you got to get it out of you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just super inspired by that.
Yeah, well, I can't um I can either afford a counselor or a guitar.
Right.
So, that's
Can't always
that's an
afford
easy
both.
choice.
God
And
knows we all need therapy, but sometimes
right,
this is our therapy.
but counseling can fade out. Um, and I know what works and what doesn't work. So I'm doing what works.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, man. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's by way of constant writing or doing things like the screen printing thing, making dumb little videos or doing drone photography, whatever. It kind of has to be something going on.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, if I'm not doing something, I get really panicky.
Yeah.
And it feels like I don't know, it feels like I'm doing something wrong when I'm not trying to I don't know. I don't want to say make the world a better place because that sounds really friggin' cliche.
Right.
But when I'm trying to offset all the crap that's going on in the world,
Right.
because everybody hates each other for one reason or another,
It's an
I
artistic
want to offset
offering
that.
that, yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
yeah.
artistic offering
Thank
that
you.
you're
Yeah,
giving that might help somebody's attitude
maybe.
for the day or give them
A
some
whole.
emotional insight or whatever it is, or
Yeah.
funny anecdote.
I, yeah, that because that's kind of the only thing that I can do is try to be humorous. Because if it's serious, nobody cares.
Yeah.
So if I try to do something funny or whatever, um, that's kind of what everybody can understand
Mhm.
is humor. That's kind of universal in its attack. So if that's the only thing I can do, I, I'm gonna do it because I don't want to leave this world with, for my kids to just be in this tumultuous thing where everybody is trying to pin blame on everyone else or say, we've got to be tolerant. Okay, well, how about if we collaborate on it? No way, I'm not going to collaborate with you. So, you
Yeah.
can't live a life like that.
You're
So
right. I agree. Chill out with the judgment. Chill
that's
out with the
my
all of it,
that's
and
my
maybe the moral
middle-aged
of this
rant.
story is you can't take yourself too seriously. And
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, never take yourself too seriously because no one's gonna take you at all, and you'll just be shouting into the void and nobody cares.
yep, yep. And
Is that a
maybe
good
we
place to
close
end?
with that, and because
Oh,
it's
we
my
were on the same page with
anniversary,
that.
I want to
Yes,
do.
happy
I'm
anniversary,
going to
man.
have some other guests on, you and I, and
Y-
Aaron Vaughn, Chris
There you go.
Cogsdale, Scotty Francis. So let's do this
Okay.
again. This is L Town Productions presents Everything in Music with Jeff and David, right? All things
I,
music. All
it's
things music with Jeff and David.
that sounds like a NPR thing. All
It
things
is. It
music.
is. And maybe we could do it once a quarter or something. You know what I mean?
That's cool with
Or as
me. I
needed,
think it'd be
or
fun.
as needed with new projects and as things kind of transpire. You know,
Yeah,
Aaron Vaughn's been doing all this bass work for me, and I want him to talk about his experience. And I want
yeah.
him to,
And rig, like maybe a rig
yeah,
rundown type of
yeah,
thing.
all that.
That'd
And
be cool.
we're using my rig in the studio, but he has a nice rig. And Chris Cogsdale, Scotty Francis with his new project. So yeah, let's give
Okay.
that a whirl. We'll go from there.
We gotta get Nick.
Yeah,
You
I
think
know.
Nick will
We
do
do.
it? Just I want
I'll
to know
try
Nick's
again.
tone.
I'll
I want to
try.
know how to get Nick's bass tone.
I'll try. I
That
would love to
is
get.
top notch.
Yeah, well, I know what he's using. I know what he's using. He's got a something similar to what I've got, a DI preamp. He's got one of those nice ones, like a Sansamp DI preamp.
Oh,
Um,
he's using the Sansamp. Okay.
something. I think it's a clone. I think it's very much what I've got. But yeah, we got to get him on
Okay.
and let him talk about his rig, his new studio. He's got that new setup going. So I want to hear about all that. I want to see his new studio too. I haven't seen it yet, at
Okay.
least on camera, right?
I
So
I haven't even spoken with him really.
yeah.
It's
Well,
these days are weird. You can write a whole album with somebody and you never meet them.
I know.
It
I
is,
know. Yeah. It is weird, but yeah, it's been fun.
but
So,
yeah,
all right, man. Well, let's go with that and send me the file. I'll get it edited and uploaded super fast. And I'm taking the wife out for our anniversary.
cool, cool.
Hugs,
Tell,
air hugs, high fives. You're
oh
awesome. Good luck with the
my God.
drops. I'm excited. I want to see and hear all the new drops. You got a lot going on. So
Yep, yep,
I'm
they're coming
stoked.
out, and yeah. So I'll stop the recording, or we'll wrap it up, and then I'll stop the recording.
Yep.
So
We're
hang
good.
on for just
Okay.
a sec. I just want to
All
make
right.
sure it's all good. So,
All right.
all right, man, hang it
Later.
up.
Later, brother.
Okay, I'm gonna hit stop recording.